my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today you're going to come along with me while I find out what 25 books are going to go on my Rereads bingo board for 2025. So for the past few years, I have created a bingo board with a bunch of books that I want to reread. And it's always been 24 because the free spot is number 25 on the bingo board. Well, this year there are exactly 25 spots on a bingo board, so 25 books to reread means I don't have a free spot this year. And I did not complete my bingo board from last year, but I don't care. I love to reread books. And so I have a list of 50 books that I want to reread for one reason or another. Some of them I've had on my shelf for quite a while, and I don't have them marked on Goodreads as read, which means I read them prior to 2011 when I started Goodreads. And I've kept them. Did I keep them because I enjoy them, or did I just not want to get rid of books? So they are on the list, those ones. Then there's some that I gave 5 stars to, and I just really enjoyed them, so I want to reread them and just spend time with those characters again. When I reread books, yes, I do remember some of the stuff, but I always find something new, or I don't remember the whole thing about it. So I enjoy revisiting books that I know that I enjoyed in the past. Will I have the same feelings about them? Not always. Sometimes I found that my tastes have changed, but we'll see what happens. So I have created a spinner wheel to choose which 25 books are going to go on this bingo board. So I thought Andrew was home, but it's the dishwasher going. Okay. I need to record my screen, and I'm just going to do this on my phone and show you the options, like what it picks, just for editing purposes to make it a little bit easier on myself. But I'm going to record just in case so that I have a backup. Okay. Now right now they are sorted alphabetically, so let's shuffle them a couple times. Okay. Book number 1. Until I Found You. Okay, Until I Found You is a standalone by Victoria Bylin. It is a contemporary romance, and I remember really enjoying this book. And it says, finding each other was only the beginning. When Kate Darby swerves off a mountain road to avoid hitting a California condor, she ends up trapped in her car, teetering on the edge of a cliff. Terrified, she breathes a prayer that changes her life. It's Nick Sheridan who comes to Kate's rescue. Nick is handsome and confident, and he seems to develop a habit of rescuing her. But Kate is in town only until her grandmother recuperates from a stroke. She's not planning to get involved with one of the locals. Nick is a reformed veteran of life in the fast lane, a new Christian, and a travel writer. When he sees a car dangling on the edge of a cliff, the daredevil in him jumps into action. He doesn't expect to be swept off his feet by the car's occupant. He's made a vow, no dating for a year. But keeping that vow is going to be a lot more difficult now that he's met Kate. Okay, so book number 2. Falling for You. Falling for You by Becky Wade. This is book number 2 of the Bradford Sisters series, and I absolutely loved this series. And I found this one recently on sale, so it was like, oh, I've got to get that. I'm hoping to get rest of the series. Right now I have it on my Kindle. And so I just really want to reread this one. It is another contemporary romance, and this time we are following Willow, who is a model, and the guy is a football player, I want to say. Former NFL quarterback. Okay, so book number 3. Truth Stained Lies. That is by Terri Blackstock, and this is book number 1 of the Moonlighters series. And yes, as I said, I've read it because these are all rereads. I shouldn't have to say that. My brother and sister-in-law gave this to me for Christmas one year, and I only have it on my Kindle, but they gave it to me in physical, and I probably had it on my shelf 5 years, I want to say, was the Christmas they gave it to me. So I really want to reread this one. And yeah. When truth doesn't make sense, will lies prevail? Kathy is a former lawyer and an investigative blogger who writes commentary on the high-profile homicides. When she finds a threatening note warning her that she's about to experience the same kind of judgment and speculation that she just is out on her blog, Kathy writes it off as mischief until her brother's wife is murdered and all the facts point to him. Okay. Book number 4. Anne of Avonlea. Okay, so I'm going to insert a book cover here because I am getting the Anne of Green Gables box set for Christmas from my husband. It's actually sitting in a box beside on my desk, but it's not open, so I can't show you. However, I know that he bought it. So that is why it's on the list. Plus, I just really want to do a reread of the Anne series. And I think Anne of Avonlea is book 2 of that series. I think. Okay. Number 5. The Christmas Bargain. The Christmas Bargain is by Shanna Hatfield. It is probably my favorite Christmas book. I just love this book. And it's about Luke, who is a banker, is historical. Luke is a banker and goes to collect on a bank loan and is given the daughter as payment. And Luke is a respectable gentleman and was like, what am I gonna do? So he goes to his friends asking for guidance on what to do, and it does become a marriage of convenience. And then we watch the couple fall in love, and it's just well, I can't even talk. This is such a heartwarming story. I have read this number of times, and it's due for a reread. Okay. Number 6. Rainbow Valley. I'm pretty sure that's part of the Anne of Green Gables series. I think. I'm pretty sure. I feel a little bit undecided on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. So here's the cover. Hopefully it is part of the Anna series. I'm pretty sure it is. Number 7. Irreparable Harm. Oh. It wasn't the book I thought it was. Okay, Irreparable Harm is by Randy Singer. This will be a legal fiction. And it says, a fight for life, a battle for right. When Dr. Nathan Brown and his wife Cameron undergo a controversial method of in vitro fertilization, some of their cloned embryos are used to achieve a pregnancy and surrogate Myrna Sereth, while the others are cryptozoologically preserved. Dr. Brown's premature death, however, and mounting evidence that the baby has Down syndrome unleash a lethal ethical, and moral firestorm that will determine the future of thousands of unborn children. Okay. I do not remember anything about this book. I think this one was published, 2003, so it's a much older book. Number 8. Anne of Green Gables. Well, that is definitely book 1 of the Anne series, and I will be reading this one in January with Chantel through her Year of Maud. So I'm very excited about that. Thank you for putting it on the board. Book number 9. Okay, that's the series I thought it was. In Harm's Way. This is book number 3 of the Heroes of Quantico series by Irene Hannon. This is a romantic suspense, and this series was the series that introduced me to Irene Hannon's writing, and I just fell in love with it. That I have read pretty much everything by Irene Hannon since. So yes, I'm really excited, but how dare it put number 3 on the board? That means I have to reread books 1 and 2. Okay, book number 9. Book number 10. False Witness. Okay, this is another book by Randy Singer. So it is another legal thriller. And an explosive secret, an invaluable code, an unreliable witness. 3 ambitious law students at a local legal aid clinic watch as a routine case representing a man named David Hoffman ignites an incendiary trail of deception and betrayal. A member of the Witness Protection Program, Hoffman has defrauded the government and eluded the mob's pursuit of his stunning secret, a coded algorithm capable of crippling the internet and threatening national security. Again, this is an older book. I don't know how. Let's see. 2007. And this one is kind of a weird size book. Like, just an awkward size. It doesn't fit on my shelf the same as all the other books. Okay. Book number 11. On Love's Gentle Shore. It's another book 3. On Love's Gentle Shore is by Liz Johnson, and as I said, it's book number 3 of the Prince Edward Island Dream series. So this one is set on Prince Edward Island. I'm not going to really tell you much about it. Book number 1 is The Red Door Inn, right? Yes. Was that the name of the book? And we are following some characters that we have met from book 1. Moving on. It is considered a contemporary romance. Book number 12. Heart on the Line. Yay! Okay, so Heart on the Line is by Karen Whitmire. This is the book that introduced me to Karen Whitmire. It is book 2 of the Ladies of Harper Station series, but when I read it, I didn't realize it was book 2. So I went into it not knowing about book 1, and I still fell in love with this book. We are following a telegraph operator, or two telegraph operators who have gotten to know each other through the line, and something happens to one of them, and the other one goes to try to help. And it's a historical romance. And I just love this book. Or I have fond memories of this book. Book number 13. Anne's House of Dreams. Okay, so it's another of the Anne books. I plan on reading the whole series next year, so this works out perfectly for me. I do not know what number that is, but here's the cover. Book number 14. And we have yet another Randy Singer book. This is Dying Declaration, so it is another legal thriller. And one young boy's tragic death sets in motion a deadly conspiracy. Thomas and Teresa Hammond believe in tough love and unquestionable faith, not doctors. But when they try to heal their son's illness through fervent prayer, tragedy ensues, and the Hammonds face heartbreaking loss, as well as a charge of negligent homicide. Defending the couple is freewheeling lawyer Charles Arnold. Charles believes in grace and mercy, but nothing in his colorful past has prepared him for the challenges of this shocking case or for the dangerous conspiracy at its heart. Charles teams with Nikki, the court-appointed guardian for the Hammonds' children, to find answers to questions that could crack open the case. Ultimately, though, everything hangs on the traitorous testimony of a key witness and hangs on a dying declaration that will radically change the lives of all involved. I do not remember anything about this book. I do know that I was really intrigued with Randy Singer's writing because he's compared to John Grisham. And like right here on the cover it says, Singer is every bit as enjoyable as John Grisham. And Singer hits pay dirt again with this taut, intelligent thriller. I don't know. Book number 14. Oh, I couldn't read what it said. The Isaacs Project. This is by Sarah Monzon. This, again, is the very first book that I read by this author, and I just have really fond memories of it. It is following a firefighter who answers a call for a husband. And so he travels across country and makes the decision to love this woman. And following like kind of Isaac and Rebecca type story, I loved it. And I want to reread it because will I enjoy it as much now as I did when I first read it? Like, I'm pretty sure it's at least 10 years ago I read it. I'm positive of it. Book number 16. The Witness. The Witness is by Dee Henderson, so this is like a long-time favorite author. And I don't even know what this one's about. I know the family secret. Amanda Griffin is on the run. 8 years ago, she disappeared after witnessing a terrible crime. Now her family thinks she's dead, but she's back in town, desperate to find a way to protect the one she loves. Pay me to go away. Police Chief Luke Granger is determined to find out who is behind the threats against Amanda and her sisters. With danger pressing in, there isn't much time, and Luke must put everything on the line. Chief Granger and homicide detective Connor and Marsh will do whatever it takes to stand in harm's way for the sake of the 3 Griffith women. It's no longer professional, it's personal. But chances are that at least one of them will fail. And it's going to take faith deeper than any of them currently knows to stand and confront the danger still to come. Book number 17. Summer Bride. This is another Shanna Hatfield book. This is book number 3 of her Holiday Brides series. Book 1 is Valentine Bride. Book 2 is Easter Bride, and book 3 is Summer Bride. And book 4 is Lilac Bride. And I was thinking for a second this was 2, but no, this is 3. Again, just fun. I don't remember a lot about it. It is a contemporary romance, and I really enjoyed it. Book number 18. Where Two Hearts Meet. We finally have a repeat for a series. Where Two Hearts Meet is by Liz Johnson, and this is book number 2 of the Prince Edward Island Dreams series. Wow, that's a twister. So again, we're at the Red Door Inn on PEI, and we're meeting characters that we met in book 1 and meeting some new characters. And I know that we see these characters again in book 3. So I'm excited to have 2 of the same series on this bingo word. Now, I say we finally got a series repeat. I mean, obviously Anne has been a series repeat as well. Book number 19. A Sparkle of Silver. That is another Liz Johnson book, and that is book 1 of her Georgia Coast series. Yes, I'm like, I can't find the series name on it. And this is an advanced reader copy that I got back in the day, but book 1, we are following 2 characters, a guy and a girl. It is a contemporary romance. I want to say Millie, but I don't know if that's the right name. But she is trying to find a diary of a family member. And Ben, the security guard, catches her kind of snooping on the premises for this. It's like a museum. And they two end up striking up a friendship and kind of goes from there. I don't remember a lot about it, but I do know there are diary entries in this, and it's kind of a mystery. They're trying to figure out kind of the past and what does the diary reveal for them. I really enjoyed this one, and I want to reread the series. Book number 20. The Esther Paradigm. The Esther Paradigm is by Sarah Monzon. This is a marriage and convenience story set in Nigeria. It doesn't say on the back. It's set in Africa somewhere. Can't remember where. And Esther, who is not Esther, Hannah, grew up as a missionary child, came to the States for school, and has now returned back to where her parents are missionaries. And for her own safety, she gets married to the leader of the clan. And they have 2 different religious beliefs, but they're trying to work together. And I loved the romance that happened in this one. So, yeah. Okay, we're almost there. Book number 21. Smokescreen. That is Terri Blackstock. This is a standalone. It is a romantic suspense, and we are following 2 characters who once knew each other. Yeah. Okay. One father was murdered, another was convicted of his death, all because their children fell in love. It almost sounds like a song, right? All because they fell in love? There's a song like that. It's a country song, obviously. And doesn't have to do with death. But yeah, okay, anyways, that's totally off topic. Nate spent his life fighting wildfires instead of the lies and rumors that drove him from his Colorado hometown. His mother begs him to come back now that his father has been released from prison. But it isn't until he's sidelined by an injury that he's forced to return and face his past. But that means facing Brianna too. 14 years ago, Nate was in love with the preacher's daughter. When Pastor Strickland discovered Brianna defied him to sneak out with Nate, the fight between Strickland and Nate's drunken dad was loud and very public. Strickland was found murdered later that night, and everyone accused Roy Beckett. When the church burned down not long after, people assumed Nate set the fire to get even for his father's conviction. He let the rumors fly and left town without looking back. Brianna is stunned to learn that the man convicted of murdering her father has been pardoned. The events of that night set her life on a bad course, and now she's fighting a brutal custody battle with her ex and his new wife, where he's using lies and his family's money to sway the judge. Brianna is barely hanging on, and she's turned to alcohol to cope. Shame and fear consume her. As Nate and Brianna deal with the present, including new information about that fateful night and a wildfire that is threatening their town, the past keeps igniting. Nate is a steady force for Brianna has so desperately needed, but she'll have to learn to trust him again first. It's Terri Blackstock. I'm gonna love it. Again. Book number 22. Anne of Ingleside. Again, it's one of the Anne books. I don't know what number in the series. Have I got all 8 on this bingo board? By the end, will I have all 8? That would be like wonderful. Okay, number 23. Then Came You. This is by Becky Wade. This is the prequel novella to the Bradford Sisters series, and it is told completely in the epistolary style through journal entries. And it is how the father fell in love with the mother of the 3 sisters. I loved this novella. It is probably my favorite novella that I have read to date, and I just have very fond memories of it. And since I already have book 2 of the series, it makes sense to have started with the prequel and then read book 1. Oh, I'm excited about that one. Book number 24. Anne of Windy Poplars. Another Anne book. I need to go through and find out how many Anne books have made it on this bingo board because that's perfect. Okay, and our very last book is High Stakes Holiday Reunion. Okay. It is by Christy Barritt. It's a love-inspired suspense book. This one came out in November of 2013. Is this one? I received this one from the author. And so yeah, I just really want to read it. It says it's part of the Security Experts series. I do not remember that. It says, a child's life is at stake. When Christopher sees the fear in Ashley's eyes, he knows he can't let her request for help go unanswered. Despite their tremendous history, he is the only person his ex-fiancée can trust to find her kidnapped nephew. But how can Christopher trust her when he finds out that Ashley's nephew is actually his son, the one she never told him about? With a terrorist cell convinced Ashley holds the key to accessing top secret government files, time is running out, and Christopher will stop at nothing to bring their little boy home in time for Christmas. So I think this is one I'm going to have to read next December. It's going to be on the TBR bingo board for a while, not marked off. Okay, so those are the 25 books I need to reread next year to be able to complete my bingo board. Can I do it? I have to say I'm a little scared about having 3 Randy Singer books on there because I haven't really been into legal thrillers lately, but we will see what happens with that. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I would love it if you would like and subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for future videos. Have a great day. Bye.